Hi everyone. Today we're excited to present our proposed feature for Airbnb, the Total Cost Upfront Quick Look. This feature focuses on solving a critical customer pain point around hidden fees during the booking process. We'll walk you through the problem, our solution, how we validated it, and why it's a valuable opportunity for Airbnb moving forward. Before we dive in, here's a quick introduction to our team. We each brought different perspectives to this project, combining product thinking, user research, and business strategy to develop a solution that is grounded in real customer needs and business impact.
Hi, my name is Ria.
I'm Briggs.
I'm Ella.
And I'm Tanvi.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start by defining the core customer problem, set the business context, walk through our voice of customer findings and user personas, and then we'll present our solution, which is the total cost upfront quick look. We'll also outline our validation plan, discuss risks and mitigations, compare our feature to Airbnb's recent rollout, and finish with our recommendation. To set the stage, here's a quick executive summary. Hidden fees have long been one of the biggest sources of user frustration on Airbnb, often causing guests to abandon bookings late in the process. Our voice of customer research confirmed that this is a pain point, with 60% of users ranking price transparency as very important when choosing a listing. This presents a strong opportunity for Airbnb to directly address a top customer need. By proactively surfacing full pricing earlier in the customer journey, we can remove surprises, strengthen trust, and make it easier for users to confidently move through the booking process. Our solution is the Total Cost Upfront Quick Look, a simple but powerful feature that displays the full price breakdown immediately when users hover over a listing. By meeting user expectations for clarity and transparency at the right moment, we expect to drive faster decision-making, higher booking conversions, and reinforce Airbnb's brand as customer first in an increasingly competitive market.
So, defining the problem. Today, users often invest time finding a listing they love, only to be surprised by hidden service or cleaning fees during checkout. This creates a feeling of distrust and leads many users to abandon their booking altogether. When this happens, Airbnb not only loses potential revenue, but risks long-term damage to its reputation. We know from our research that price transparency is not just a nice thing to have, it is now an expectation in this market. Our goal is to remove unnecessary friction early, increase user confidence, and streamline the path to booking by surfacing the total cost upfront in a clear and accessible way. So, put this context. The short-term rental market is already massive. It's valued at $106 billion and it's projected to grow to $342 billion by 2033. However, as the industry matures, user expectations are shifting. Consumers today demand transparency, speed, and simplicity when booking accommodations. If Airbnb stays reactive instead of being proactive and addressing these expectations, it risks losing market positioning. Furthermore, looking into the VOC and persona support, we have Olivia, a college student planning trips on a budget, and Meredith, a mother coordinating family vacations, who both walk away from their listings when final prices are unclear. Users like these form a critical customer base for Airbnb and expect upfront clarity from the get-go. So, looking at the solution overview, our solution is a total cost upfront quick look. Here's how it works. When a user hovers over a listing card, the quick look pop-up will display the total price, including all the service fees, cleaning fees, and taxes, along with the listing's average star rating.
Here's a quick mock-up of what the experience would look like. There'll be a clean, simple pop-up showing total pricing and a quick glance at the rating when the user hovers over a listing. It'll also include a brief snapshot of the reviews, including both positive and negative, a few pictures of the listing, and a Book Now button that takes users directly to the last step of the booking process for quick decision making. This feature directly addresses a core pain point. By eliminating checkout surprises and enabling faster decision making via the Book Now button and increasing trust, we expect to drive at least a 10% improvement in conversions. Our validation plan consists of an A/B test with some metrics to test success. The control group for the A/B test is the group with the traditional cost display, that is the fees and other or the fees displayed at checkout. Our treatment group is the one with the total cost upfront with the quick look pop-up. We are introducing randomization into the test by balancing by device and region. Our primary metric to test success is the conversion rate from listing views to finalizing the booking. We chose this metric as it shows whether people move forward in the process after having seen the total cost upfront as opposed to the traditional pricing display. Our secondary metric is the hover interaction rate and the click-through rate for the Book Now button as shown in the mockup. This shows how many users engage in this feature and want to view the total cost without clicking into the listing. The Book Now click rate also shows how many users want to proceed with the booking process once the total cost has been shown via the pop-up. Finally, as a guardrail metric, we'll be looking at the decrease in reviews, discussing difference in listing pictures and actual property or misinformation in general. There are a few risks with this validation plan. First, there could be early peaking, which is the premature analysis that could bias results in interpretation. To mitigate this, we're going to set a fixed minimum test duration before analysis. There could also be spillover effects. For example, users may share screenshots or experiences, which could influence other groups. To mitigate this, we're going to randomize at session levels and rotate test groups. Finally, we could observe changes in host behavior. For example, hosts may adjust prices mid-test after observing the changes that we're making. To fix this, we would monitor listing price volatility and limit the test duration. The other consideration is whether or not this feature will impact the business model. This is a brief overview of the business model, which undoubtedly we're all familiar with. It includes Airbnb as the middleman and then the host and the visitor. Because users will see the total cost upfront, the total cost they're paying upfront, there's a chance they drop off from the transaction altogether if it appears too high. However, we believe that this feature is really important in building brand trust in the long term, which will improve the perception of Airbnb and encourage more users to choose Airbnb for future vacations instead of something like a hotel. In addition, because we're implementing a validation plan, we can be sure through the conversion rate metric the feature will encourage bookings, not discourage. Now I'll pass it off to Ria to talk about how this feature has panned out for Airbnb.
Yeah, thanks, Tommy. So, funny enough, Airbnb beat us to announcement by 6 days. So, on April 22nd, they launched a total price display feature, meaning when guests search, they now see the full cost upfront instead of being surprised later by the extra fees. The impact was pretty immediate. Almost 300,000 listings either updated their pricing structures or removed fees altogether to align with the new experience. About 40% of listings even eliminated cleaning fees, which, as we know, has historically been a huge frustration point for guests. And interestingly, consumer behavior started shifting right away. Listings that didn't hide extra fees began rising to the top in preference. And in short, guests clearly reward transparencies, and hosts are adapting to meet that expectation. So now if we compare this solution to our solution, there's strong alignment, but there's also an important difference. Airbnb's model shows the full price once you click into a listing. However, our approach starts even earlier. We want users to see the total cost before they even click onto a property. And this is because in a high choice environment, making faster and more confident decisions is critical. Giving users that visibility up front while they're still scanning results removes friction from the very start. So, breaking this down a little more, in terms of alignment, both solutions are trying to meet the same emerging demand. Consumers want honesty, simplicity, and no surprise fees. But the difference is where it gets interesting. Airbnb's focus more on eliminating fees through host incentives, and our focus is slightly different. It's about sharing costs earlier so users can make faster, better informed choices, even if the fees still exist. And the opportunity here is huge. Airbnb validating this space tells us we're on the right track. It means there's more that we can do to lead, to refine, and to go even further in enhancing the guest experience. So more about enhancement features. There are a few smart ways that we thought of that can push this feature even further. The first one is standardizing how fees are displayed across listings. So right now there's an inconsistency that still creates confusion. Secondly, incentivizing hosts to naturally bundle costs into a nightly rate, making the whole experience smoother and less segmented for guests. And third, we could test dynamic badging. So imagine a best price transparency badge that highlights listings that are fully upfront, and it would create a powerful signal for guests about where they can expect no surprises. Ultimately, by enhancing price transparency either earlier in the booking journey, we improve overall customer satisfaction, strengthen user trust, and increase or drive better booking conversion rates. It's a win for guests, it's a win for hosts, and a major opportunity for us to differentiate even further. Thank you so much for listening, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.